It's sci time for grade 10. Unit number 6, living cells. Cells are the basic structural and functional unit of life, and living cells are formed by the pre-existing cells. So today's lesson is to learn how living cells are formed by the pre-existing cells. It is the cell growth and cell division. What is growth? Anything at the beginning looks small and simple. When they grow further, their complexity increasing. The thing getting complex. Cells also similar. They start as small ones and gradually become big and complex. So you can see the cell growth process. This process is an irreversible process, and also during the process its dry mass increases. Not only the size, its dry mass increases. So what is cell growth? Growth of a cell is the irreversible increase of size or the dry mass. But there is a limit to this cell growth, a maximum limit. Mostly when it's mature, the start to cells stop its growth, and also probably they die. Before their death, they produce new cells. So the process of producing new cells is the cell division. So if this is the mother cell, then it starts to divide its cellular materials and gradually dividing and forming two brand new cells. And this process is the cell division process. What is cell division? The cell division is the process by which new cells formed by the division of cellular materials and also formed by the division of an existing cells. Then how this cell division process control? So we need to learn about chromosomes and genes for that. So human beings, they are organisms, and we are made of trillions of cells. Human body is made of trillions of cells, and they have identical sets of genes. And what genes are, and the chromosomes. Each cell of the nucleus contains an identical 23 sets of chromosomes. If we take one cell of our body, it has 23 sets of chromosomes. 23 times 2 chromosomes. That means 46 chromosomes contained in each cell of our body. And they always found as pairs. Here the pair of chromosomes. And these chromosomes contain genes. Next, look at this. Here are the genes. In this picture you can see when we see the chromosomes in detail, there are genes, and there's a long description for the genes. Each chromosomes contain one long DNA molecule. Actually, a chromosome is a DNA molecule. It has segments. Those segments are the genes. Each gene responsible for one character. And here is a gene, and it's controlled one characteristic in our body. And the long DNA chains have segments responsible for that. And the division of the sets of chromosomes is the cell division process. As it divides, there are two methods of division. See how the chromosomes exist in our cells. Chromosomes found in the nucleus, normally they are found as chromatid, that means loose coil of threads like thing. But when start in division, they just condense like that. And here this is the nucleus, and we call this as chromosome. Before coiling, we call them as chromatin, and chromatin actually made of a long chain of DNA. Right. In the division process, the dividing these chromosomes equally is very important. Look at this mitosis process. Mitosis means the basic process which makes similar copies of cells. So let's see the process of mitosis. Here there is an example cell. It has only two chromosomes. In our body, as I mentioned, there are 23 chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes. Here there is only two sets of chromosomes, and we call that such cell as a 2N or the diploid cell. First step is chromosomes in the nucleus get condensed. Second, they replicate or double up, making a copy and doubling up. Now it's ready for the division. Condensed chromosomes replicate. Then they line up in the equator. We call this as equator and these two ends as the poles. So they lines up like this, and then they break apart and pull towards the poles. Chromatin pulled apart and move towards the poles. While they are moving here, cellular material also start to divide. Now similar, the two chromosomes again separate and divide, and finally it forms two brand new cells. These cells, you can see, they also have received equal number of chromosomes. These two are identical to each other as well as they are similar to their mother cell. So making 100% similar cells to the mother cell is the process called mitosis. So here's the final result. Mother cell, diploid cell make two cells. Daughter cells, they are identical to mother cell. And this is important significance in several places. Basically, when the complex organisms, I mean the multicellular organisms growing, multicellular organism starts as single cell. But when they grow, when they become complex, they need to multiply their cells. This multiplication process takes place by the mitosis process, producing somatic or the body cells to form new organism. This process is led by the mitosis division. Look at the next one. Replacing the worn out or the dying cells. Normally this is skin cell. You can see in this figure the skin, all the skin cells removing, dying off and removing off, but new cells must be produced, and the new cells also should be the copy of the previous. I mean there should be consistency of the cell division that is maintained by the mitosis process. Blood cells, epidermal cells or the skin cells, hair cells, nail cells, when they are replacing, mitosis is very important. And sometimes existing cells can be destroyed due to cut or wound, and once it is destroyed, new cells must be replaced, or there should be a repairing of that place. When repairing that one, also similar cells or the similar copies should replace here, then forming new cells or tissues in the healing wound led by the mitosis, another significance. And the next one, in unicellular organisms don't have complex reproduction methods. Their reproduction is done by the asexual reproduction. That means simply a single cell makes similar two copies. Amoeba, sponges, even in plants, we can see asexual reproduction. Mitosis is the division important in the asexual reproduction process. Next one is very special one. Look at this diagram. Some organisms have tactic to remove their body parts to mislead their enemies. Gecko does that well. And when enemy attack comes, sometimes it shed its tail and run away. We call that as autotomizing. Then once it is autotomized, then the tail should be regrown. Actual tails can regrow. In each and every organism you can't see it. If our finger is lost, new finger will not grow. But some organisms have this regeneration ability. The regeneration also, the mitosis division helpful. And these are useful things, and there are some adverse effects as well. Look at the adverse effect of mitosis. Normal cell division as well as cancer cell division both occur by the mitosis process. Then fast replication of these cancer cells is an adverse effect of mitosis. Then mitosis is the most simplest division and the very common division method occur in our body, and mitosis makes two cells. and they are identical to each other. Next division method is the meiosis process. And see this. This is little bit complex process. You can see again the mother cell is 2n diploid cell. First step is nucleus or the chromosomes get condensed in the nucleus. Then similar to the previous step, replicating take place or doubling up. And next step is special. These chromosomes said to be cross over each other. They are genes they exchange. This is special one. Similar chromosomes gather and swap their DNAs. And then the crossed chromosomes look as different chromosomes. Then these chromosomes start to separate like this. So not like the parts, chromosomes separate first. That means the result is N cell, haploid cell, and from a diploid cell to N cells, so haploid cells form. Two cells form, each with half the number of chromosomes. If this happens in our body, this one cell will have 23 chromosomes, 23 chromosomes each, and our mother cells have 46 chromosomes, but here at this division 23 chromosomes result. And this is not the end of this division. Meiosis process have second stage. The second stage is another mitosis process. See, this second phase of the division or the mitosis phase begins, and these haploid cells start to divide further. Chromosomes of the chromatids of each cell break apart like this. Then after cellular materials dividing, chromatids pull apart. Now each cell have only one chromatid and separating into four cells. This is the final result of the meiosis process. Four different haploid cells form. Cells are different to each other and mother cell. Mother cell had two sets of chromosomes, but the daughter cells they have only one set of chromosome, and that chromosome is also different from this one. Just if you compare the colors, you can see first one brownish one, this is green mixed brown one, brown mixed green one, and a green one. That means from the appearance also they are different. Actually four different N cells, haploid cells result by the meiosis. And what is the importance of this meiosis process? Look at this picture. Normally our body cells, they have two sets of chromosomes. But in the sexual reproduction, that cells must be unique, one from the mother and one from the father. When they unique, if these body cells unique, then the baby will receive four N cells. That means four sets of chromosomes. So the consistency or the number of chromosomes will not be maintained in the same or the constant number. That's why this meiosis process takes place. It's occur in reproductive system of male and female. Then females they produce ova by this division, and males produce sperms by this division. They contain only half the number of chromosomes from the mother cells. Then these half, one half from the father and one half from the mother unique and makes again two sets of chromosomes in the baby. Therefore, to maintain constant number of chromosomes throughout the generations, this is very important. Maintenance of constant number of chromosomes from generation to generation is one significance. The other thing is, as we learned when in the meiosis process, the daughter cells are completely different from the mother cell. It leads to this evolution process. Because of this meiosis, the evolution has taken place. So the second significance is the help in evolution due to variations occur. Because variations in the cells cause the variations of the organisms. Finally, comparison of mitosis and meiosis. You can see the steps are different. Compare these figures. Two end cells of the mitosis results two end cells, and in meiosis, two end or diploid cells results four haploid cells, and they are different to mother cell. Here's the comparison table. Mitosis 1 division, meiosis 2 divisions. Mitosis, it occurs in both diploid or haploid cells, but meiosis occur only in diploid cells. In mitosis there are no variations occur, but in meiosis variations occur. Meiosis 2 daughter cells result and meiosis 4 daughter cells result, and daughter cells in the mitosis process receive same chromosomal number, but in the meiosis process they receive only half the chromosomal number, and daughter cells are similar to mother cells in mitosis process, but in meiosis process daughter cells are different from the mother cell. So this is the end of the unit, the living cell, and we will meet back from the unit number 7. Till that, goodbye.